The Mississippi River floods of 2011. The Mississippi River flood of 2011 was caused by snowmelt and excessive rainfall. An unusually long and cold winter led to excessive snowmelt in the spring and in April, persistent rains poured down in Mississippi due to two major storm systems. These two combined led to the overflowing of the Mississippi River. In this picture, this is captured from April of 2010, the year before the floods. And as you can see, this is the normal path of the Mississippi River. And by 2011 of the following year, this is when the Mississippi overflowed. And you see these irregular patterns of where water flowed over and into the surrounding land. Thousands of square miles of agricultural and residential land were submerged by water that had surged over the banks of the Mississippi River system, or that had been purposely diverted from large settlements through the blasting of levees and the opening of spillways. The flood hit 119 counties in the lower Mississippi River states of Arkansas, Illinois, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, and Tennessee. More than 21,000 homes and businesses and 1.2 million acres of agricultural land were affected, and more than 43,000 people felt some effects. The flooding caused $2.8 billion worth of damage. About 20 people died directly as a result of the floods. The closure of a main grain shipping port in Natchez, Mississippi on May 16th sparked fears of the flood's effects on commerce. The port was reopened shortly thereafter on a limited basis. Major shipments of coal from New Orleans were also delayed. In the later weeks of May, as the Mississippi River crested at record levels in many areas and then began to slowly recede, state officials began the process of evaluating evacuated properties for habitability. Many were condemned or would need to be gutted. The fate of cropland that had been immersed by the floodwaters was uncertain. Though historically the residual silt from such floods boosted soil nutrients, the passage of the water through agricultural and residential areas led to the deep deposition of debris and bacteria. Chemicals that had entered the waterway amplified the already substantial effects of agriculture on the Gulf of Mexico, which had long suffered from an extensive dead zone caused by fertilizer-fed algae blooms that deoxygenate the water. The expansion of that zone with the increased fertilizer load would wreak havoc on fisheries already suffering because of the effects of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill of 2010. Following the Mississippi floods of 2011, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers spent millions of dollars approved by Congress to undergo critical repairs on the levee systems in order to prevent sand boils and find other ways to better protect citizens. The residential areas were able to recover and no significant legislative changes were made. However, immediate attention was given to the tributaries and flooding systems.